Residents decry shutdown of 11 Zamfara cattle market. Soldier kills driver transporting humanitarian goods in Borno. NIMET issues 3-day weather alert, cautions airlines. Away from Nigeria, Democratic Republic of Congo government rules out election rerun demanded by opposition. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update at this hour. I am Ayuba Ida. Thanks for joining. I'll begin with security matters. Some residents of Zamfara State have kicked against the indefinite closure of 11 cattle markets in some parts of the state over banditry. The State Commissioner for Information, Munir Haidara, said on Wednesday that the closure of the markets was informed by security reports that bandits were using the markets to sell off their rustled cows. He said that the state government had directed security agents to ensure compliance with arrest and arrest any person who violated the order. Recall that the former governor of the state, Bello Matawale, had during his time closed down some cattle markets in the state for similar reasons. However, some residents condemned the closure of the markets, lamenting that the move will not make any difference. According to them, a similar method was applied by the successive government but did not yield any positive results. Now, earlier, we spoke to Daily Trust Regional Editor Yushao Adamu. He gives an update on the situation.
The development is that residents of the affected areas, where these markets were shut down, have started voicing their grievances against government. Because they said this is not the first time government is closing down markets under the banner of ensuring security and what have you. But that did not yield any positive results. The cited example with the previous administration of Mohammed Bello Matawale, whom they said has shut down markets in Mada, then Shibga, Marad, and Ansado, among the others. But that did not stop banditry from the area. They rather said the bandits also changed their tactics, because if government stopped them from going to market and maybe extort people, then they will pay their attention to the kidnap for ransom. So the argument of the residents is now that government has shut down the market, the bandits will now pay attention to kidnap or ransom. And they are saying that the whole burden will be on them, the residents, because if they were kidnapped or their relations are kidnapped, they have nowhere to take their animals, sell and pay ransom. So the abducted persons should remain under the custody of bandits or be killed by the bandits for failure to pay the ransom. So they said instead of closing down market, government should devise measures that will end the banditry in their communities, maybe by deploying adequate security to the areas, so that they would have protection to conduct their businesses in the market instead of closing the market.
Now, tension has enveloped Evu Community in Bako local government area of Niger State following the release of one of the suspects alleged to have killed 3 persons in the community. Dauda Shabako of Biramafu community, who was freed from custody, was alleged to have fully participated in the killing of the 3 persons from Evugi. He was remanded in correctional custody on the order of Mina Chief Magistrate Court No. 1, presided by Hajia Ummi Muhammad, for participating in the killing of 3 persons from Evugi. Meanwhile, the community is alleging conspiracy and foul play in the release of the suspect, who they fear may launch further attacks. His release, according to members of the committee in Evu Community, created serious uncertainty in the community as some group of youths in the Evugi are threatening a showdown. On speaking with journalists in Mina on Thursday, a member of the Youth Committee in Evu Community in Bako local government area, Nakorodi Penta Evungi, called on the Niger State Governor Umar Mohammed Bago to, as a matter of urgency, deploy security personnel to the community to forestall any security breach in both communities. But Ono State government has urged the military to ensure speedy justice for the National Union of Road Transport Workers driver allegedly killed by a soldier along Gamboru International Road in Borno State. Addressing a press conference, the secretary to the state government, Bukar Tijani, said the excesses of soldiers killing and extorting money from drivers on the road will not be tolerated. Tijani noted that the state government had engaged the leadership of the military and an investigation launched into the matter. Responding to the governor, the secretary of the NURTW, Ahmed Musa, said that the driver was transporting humanitarian goods to Jamena, Chad, when the soldier killed him during a stop and search at a checkpoint. Meanwhile, the acting deputy director, Army Public Relations of the 7th Division, Maiduguri, Lieutenant Colonel Ajemusu Jingina, confirmed receiving a complaint on the killing of the truck driver. The defense headquarters has attributed the delayed response from troops during the attacks in Bokos and Barikin Ladi, local government areas of Plateau State, to the terrain and other factors. The attacks led to the deaths of 150 people and over 10,000 have been displaced. Amnesty International has called on the authorities to investigate the instability of the security agencies to curb the attacks. According to the country director, Isa Sanusi, their investigation showed that the armed men operated for more than 48 hours, moving from one village to another. Speaking in an interview on Wednesday, the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, admitted that troops received over 30 distress calls. While the attacks were on, they were handicapped by the difficult terrain and other factors. He also said that the manner in which the assailants planned and executed the attacks across the locations made it difficult for the troops to get to the scene on time. Edward added that the military is rejigging its strategy to ensure speedy intervention in the future. The federal government has ordered an immediate release of humanitarian relief to communities affected by the recent attacks in Plateau State. The order was contained in a statement issued by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in Abuja, while strongly condemning the recent killings in Bokos and Barikin Ladi local government areas. The federal government, according to the statement, reiterated the commitment of President Bola Tinubu's administration to securing every inch of Nigerian territory and ensuring that all forms of criminality by terrorists, bandits and militants are tackled boldly and decisively. The statement added that President Tinubu has directed security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators are fished out and brought to justice. It added that at the federal level, all hands are on deck across the security and intelligence agencies to scale up intelligence gathering and crisis response efforts. Now, hours after his swearing in by the 7th civilian governor as the 7th civilian governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa announced 5 fresh appointments signifying a new dawn in politics in the state. Already, 3 aides of the deceased governor had resigned, aware of the handwriting on the wall. It is not yet clear how the political landscape will be and what the relationship of the new governor and the State House of Assembly will look like. For now, Governor Aiyedatiwa has declared 3-day mourning period in Ondo State between the 28th and 30th of December to grieve over the demise of his former boss. Daily Trust reporter in Ondo State, Tosin Tokwe, gives us an update.
Yes, so currently the atmosphere is, pensive everywhere. Everybody is virtually everybody is very in a pensive mood, and as I'm talking to you, like you have rightly said, the governor, that's the substantive governor, now look here that you have declared a 3-day mourning period for the late former governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, and even the governor's office, the government house, everywhere is currently deserted, and people wearing mournful look, to mourn the departed soul. That's Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, and even the flag has been thrown in half mast just to honor the former governor of the state. Yes, from feelers, people are describing the governor as an icon who left an indelible mark, especially in virtually all the sectors of the state. More importantly, when you talk about the issue of security, he was one of the brain behind the formation of the Southwest Security Network Agency, otherwise known as Amotekun Corps. That local security outfit was established following the perennial insecurity situation in the Southwest as it related to incessant kidnapping, banditry, and armed robbery. So as a result of that, with the formation, people have been talking about his legacies, which has left behind, and people tend to know that they have left the governor, the former governor who died, have actually left an indelible, has actually left a big shoes for his successor to wear. It's to people of the state, it's not surprising because most of these cabinet members who are throwing in their resignation letter were mostly people who, were against the deputy governor before he eventually became the governor. So, and as a result of interviews we did earlier, it was gathered that most of them were jittery of what becomes the governor, and eventually the eventuality happened with the death of the governor. So, them throwing in their resignation letter to many residents of the state is not surprising at all. And with what people are saying, that the governor might actually reshuffle the cabinet. As I'm talking to you, we've not been able to gather that fact if there is going to be a reshuffle of the cabinet. But if that as it may be, it is normal in the political setting when a governor died and another one emerged. So many of those who have worked with him, especially the loyal one, who want to tender in their resignation letter and find another business while some set of new people also comes in. And in politics, look at it that he has become the governor, and you want to also work with people who are fit, people who he knows that will actually also fit into his own agenda, not forgetting the fact that even when he took the oath of office yesterday, he promised to also, revitalize some of the policies of the governor. And don't forget they both emerged as same ticket. And he also promised, you understand, to work by those policies. And as a result of that, we think as from next week, we should start seeing some of these as it occurs from the state.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. NDLEA seizes 563 kilograms of drugs, 450,000 kilograms of cannabis sativa in Katsina. Details and more shortly. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a reminder of our main stories. Residents decry shutdown of 11 Zamfara cattle markets. Soldiers kill driver transporting humanitarian goods in Borno. In other news, a group known as Take It Back Movement has called on the Nigerian police to make public its findings from the investigation into the death of Nigerian musician Ilerioluwa Oladimeji Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad. The group also wants the police to protect the rights of the deceased wife and children. In a statement on Thursday, Take It Back Movement maintained that the continued silence of the force in the case was becoming worrisome as many await the outcome of the investigation. It maintained that despite announcing the completion of autopsy for the late singer, the Nigerian police has kept mute and is no longer providing information on the case. It therefore called on the police to take note of threats of physical harm against the wife, the child of the deceased, and bring perpetrators to justice accordingly.
There is a delay in investigation and there is threat to life. The case of Mohbad has been on for months now, and the police started well in the sense of them coming out, giving a press conference and telling us what they will do. But unfortunately, they have not given us full details and full investigation on these issues. These full details and full investigation that have not given us are giving room for naysayers to come up with a lot of stories. So many stories that are against the characters of the people, his family and all that.
It is about a system that encourages something like that to happen, and then people would go scot-free. It is beyond Mohbad. It is more about a system that allows it. So if we are complaining that Mohbad was bullied and we want to get justice for Mohbad, and you think the way to get justice for Mohbad, who suffered bullying, was to bully his wife, how does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense at all. Mohbad was 27. How old is his wife? The wife is even younger. And then she's facing all of this already with a child that is less than 1 year old. I'm not sure all of the people who even granted this interview cared whether the child was eating or not. I'm not sure anybody even knows if the child is feeding. Nobody is interested in that, because that's not what will bring them clout.
The police command has apprehended a child trafficking syndicate that specializes in stealing children from the northern region and selling them for less than 300,000 naira each to the southern states. Police Commissioner Muhammad Hussaini Gumel told journalists on Thursday that human trafficking, including buying and selling of children, has become a source of worry in Kano and other places, noting that it was the reason the police stepped up intelligence networking that resulted in tracking down one of the main networks. He said that the police tracked down the syndicate operating around Bauchi, Gombe, Delta and other places, and 9 suspects were arrested with 7 kidnapped children who had been stolen some few months back. A boy, Muhammad Ilyas, name was changed to Chidebere and was sold at 450,000 naira, while Muhammad Biliaminu was recovered from Sabongari, Kano and was sold at 450,000 naira, while Chiamaka was abducted at birth and sold at 350,000 naira. Her parents are yet to be identified, but the police commissioner said that another Muhammad Ilya was rescued from Newi, Anambra State, and was stolen at 3 years of age. Ilya, who is now 5 years old and cannot speak his mother tongue, was sold at 500,000 naira. Those arrested in connection with the child trafficking include Chika Ezugu, 53-year-old, Joy, 43, Clement Ali, 35, and Emeka Ekedugu, 55. Others include Beirut Yerima, 45, from Bauchi, Ndama Obi from Newi, and Ebere Emumbu. The National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Katsina State has seized 563,541 kilograms of drugs in addition to 450,963 kilograms of cannabis sativa from January 2023 till date. The National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency in Katsina said this during its 2023 end-of-the-year press briefing. Abdullahi Amadi tells us more.
Katsina is ranked second in substance abuse in the northwest after Kaduna State. The state is battling banditry and other criminal tendencies fueled by substance abuse. The agency said it has arrested 119 suspected drugs users and traffickers, out of which 894 are males, while 25 suspects are females within their under review. This is in addition to 111.5911 kilograms of psychotropic drugs.
We are aware of some of the areas where people are using cover, other businesses as a cover to peddle these drugs. Believe you me, we are on top of the situation and we are working day and night on such things. Sometimes when we do our raids and seizures, we don't tell the details. We only do it. And in some certain areas, we are really strategizing now on how to go about it. If not because of the logistic issue we have, I intend using patrol within the town. It could be stationary in some areas that we know are very prone to such issues, because I think it's one of the issues we need to consider.
The agency has filed 98 cases before the Federal High Court in Katsina and successfully secured 76 convictions, out of which 74 convicts are males and 2 are females, with 161 pending cases at various stages of prosecution.
I'm sure you are all aware the commander busted a drug party within Katsina metropolis. And this issue is becoming a trend now in the country. And we are still extending our searchlights to other areas of out of the state capital. When we busted this drug party, we were able to arrest a total of 25 youths. They are here with us, undergoing counseling and rehabilitation. We have also succeeded in dismantling a crack cocaine syndicate operating in Katsina and Dutsenma towns. We have people in custody. We have some of the exhibits we were able to recover from them.
Though the anti-drugs agency is engaging residents on sensitization at various times and locations across Katsina State, residents are calling for a holistic approach in the fight against the monster that has retarded development and peaceful coexistence in the state. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has reported a 284.6% increase in the transaction volume of its digital currency, e-Naira, for August 2023. The Apex Bank, which stated this in its monthly economic report for August 2023, also noted that for August, the e-Naira reached 9.78 billion naira. Although the increase in e-Naira for the month was substantial when compared to the currency in circulation, it was only 0.37%. The CBN also reported an 11.7% decline in currency in circulation for August to reach 2.66 trillion naira. The decline in CIC was attributed to a rise in the use of electronic payment methods for business transactions. Now, away from Nigeria, Democratic Republic of Congo will not cancel the results of last week's presidential election despite repeated calls from the opposition for a full rerun of the disputed vote, government spokesperson Patrick Muyaya said on Thursday. Results issued so far from the December 20 poll show Felix Tshisekedi with a commanding lead over his opponents. Mounting tensions over the election threatened to further destabilize Congo, which is already grappling with a security crisis in eastern areas. Police forcibly broke up a banned march on Wednesday in the capital Kinshasa by people protesting against the way the presidential and legislative election was conducted. The opposition has said that there were widespread irregularities and fraud, but the Electoral Commission denies this. Muyaya urged the opposition to wait until full results are published and challenge them in court if necessary. Now in sports news, Ghanaian clubs Customs Braves and Spintex Knights have confirmed their participation in the 2024 West Africa Championship at the indoor hall of the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. The championship, organized by Lois Edem Foundation, is scheduled to hold from March 31 to April 7th next year. The Ghanaian duo will be joined by Aspak Basket Club and Energy Basket Club of Benin Republic. Nigeria champions Rivers Hoopers, former champions Kwara Falcons, Lagos Raptors, Lagos Legends, Comets and Hoops, and Reed will also feature in the third edition of the Elite Sub-Regional Competition. Tournament Director Louis Adam reaffirmed the foundation's commitment to investing 100 million naira to develop basketball in the grassroots within the next 5 years. The former Nigeria basketball star explained that the championship will be a men-only competition while the women-only tournament will hold later in 2024. Rivers Hoopers are the defending champions after they defeated Ghana's Spintex Knights 74-56 in the final of the second edition held in September this year. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.